Okay, in this phase, I just wanted to show you guys, we have the LED here that I provide. It's got an insulator on one side, okay, string tubing, and it's a 3mm, and this is the bottom, so it would be white. So you'd put it right there, and right there means right in the middle of that hole. The plastic insert has been already placed into that spot, okay, so you would put it right there, and like I said, you just bring the head right to the center, and then we would go on to the next step to hot glue it. Okay, fast forward, I've taken the time to hot glue the LED in place. Now you don't have to put too much, just I put a dab here and a dab in the back, and that's holding it right in place, no fear. Now you could I would add another little dot of hot glue right here, and if it's standard hot glue, if you don't let the gun touch the plastic, there's no harm. It doesn't deform it or melt it at all. Okay, in this phase, what I've done is I've used a special kind of tape. It's similar to duct tape, but it's cloth, so it's not conductive. And I've placed one big piece here, and since it's cloth, it shapes very nicely. And I did have some light leaks from the red over in this little porthole, so I've added another one, and I put two pieces on. I don't know if I needed two pieces, but I did, just to keep the light leaks down. And it's made by, I believe it's ProGaff, but you can use electrical tape or whatever you have on hand. So that's that part of it. Okay, just want to show you guys that by doing all that work we talked about in the previous steps, you can see that there's no bleed through on this porthole from the red, or the red and white from this porthole. Okay, sorry, let's get back into view here. There they are. And there is no interference as far as light leaks or light bleed. That's all because of the way we did it in the previous step to cover up those LEDs so they will not interfere. So now this porthole and that porthole will just show the color of the interior lights when we're all said and done. And that's it. Okay, I just want to take a quick second to show you these boards that we have. This is a blank board just to show you that it's how it's going to fit in there. Now you notice these little locking edges here. We're going to utilize that. Now these boards are made to exact specification to fit right inside. See, they just fit perfectly in, okay? And what we're going to end up doing is they don't shake or anything. It's just a nice snug fit, and it's hard to move without any components in. But basically I just wanted to show you that it is a nice snug fit, and we're going to use D3 and D4 on this pin here as the locking pin to line it up. Okay, I've taken the liberty to mount the spinning buzzards through the container. Now the way to line it up, the easiest way to line it up is there's a little hole here in the top. There's your 12 o'clock. So line up D1, D2, and obviously D3, D4 lines up at 6 o'clock. And I've used hot glue to tack them into place, and it holds very nicely. Don't have to worry about it, and everything, it just fits in there just right, so we can move on to the next step. All right, in this step you can see that what we've done is we've put the spinning buzzard pretty much together. Here's the nacelle. Basically we ran the wires right through there, and you can see they're coming out right through that hole, which the pylons will go through in a minute, and we'll do that. Okay, now in this step what we're going to do is we're going to route these wires right through the pylon, and as you can see round 2 is very good enough to give us a channel for our wires or their wires. So we're going to take advantage of that and run it right through there. And the three wires, the yellow, the black, and the red, are going to come through the little runway in there. So we're going to go ahead and attach it to the secondary hull. Okay, here's the secondary hull, and these are locations of the white strobe that's going to be put in. It'll be shining through on this hole, porthole right here, and same thing on this side, as you can see. So there they are, and we'll be putting the landing bay in here and gluing it in a little bit later on. Okay, what we have here is the shuttle bay, and these two 3mm white LEDs are going to come in the kit. They get a blue wire and a gray wire. Okay, what you're going to do is very carefully make a sharp bend, as you can see. Do it only once so it doesn't damage the LED. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put one here and one over here. Okay, we're going to hot glue them in place, and that's going to provide some illumination inside the shuttle bay. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. Alright, here's the shuttle bay with the two white LEDs hot glued in place, and they can come out like this from the back. That way when it goes inside the secondary hull, it fits nicely. Okay? This is how the pylons are going to look when after it's set and glued. Okay, here's the rear hull with the mounting of the rear strobe. Now I've also tacked it down to the hull so it would not interfere with the illumination when you light up the inside, and you can, you know, finish it up over here, you know, the way you want to run it through. We're going to make it go right up through the neck to the saucer. Same thing with this, okay? Same approach. Keep it away from the portholes. I just wanted to show this stage. We have the two sets of strobes in the rear hull coming out from the neck, which will go up to the saucer section where the board will be. And we also have the two white LED lights to illuminate the landing bay. That's going to go there up top as well. Okay, since we have most of the wires here at our disposal, what I've done is I've connected the blacks together, which is the negative, the red, which is the positive, and this is the yellow, which is the switch. But also, in addition to that, I've connected longer black and red wire so we can run it through the neck and power up the nacelle, the saucer section of the board and everything else. And the other wire is going to come through this rod that's supplied by round 2. Now it's very thin, the inside ID, so we can't make too many wires go through it. Okay, this is the bottom section. What we decided to do was actually, well, here's the board, of course, and it should be mounted here. It's a nice location for it. Is we've actually connected all the wires to the board, okay? So these are the wires that are going to feed down below and to the top section, and this is the power leads. Okay, we're going to run them through here and down the neck, of course, and then later on we'll show you these are going to become pre-wired, so you just connect them up and connect them to the spot. So it will make things easier. You just either solder them or wire nut them or whatever you feel most comfortable with. It'll be nice and easy. Okay, we have the bottom saucer with the board mounted in there, all its supporting wires here. And we also have the top saucer, okay? And we're just showing the nabs. Nothing has been done to this. This is not a kit building situation. It's just to show how to connect up the nabs and the spinning nacelles, if you will. So basically we're going to connect, in this case, yellow to yellow, and then we're going to have this one here, which is the red, connect to the red on this one here, okay? And we're just going to, connect them up like that, and there'll be enough room, and you'll just put them inside, etc. And we'll show you how that looks later on. Okay, just to show you, we have the yellow wire connected to the yellow. Okay, I'll zoom in on that. Okay, the yellow connected to the yellow, and we have the grays from the top connected to each other. Now you notice there's some string tubing here on this red wire. That's what I use to insulate the connection. You can use tape, or you can wire knot them together. Okay, and on the motherboard down here, excuse me, the little nav board, strobe board, there's a gray wire that comes out of location number 8, and that's going to be how you okay. What you're looking at is the impulse engine rear here, and we're going to supply you with two 3mm flat top red LEDs already pre-wired. Then it's going to go back to the control board down here, which will actually have mounted on the board two brown wires, which will connect to one of each. And these are nice because they're going to be nicely centered right in the window of the impulse engine. So we're going to glue it in place nice and even. Now I just want to show you guys that I've just hot glued it in place. Okay, you can see the glue right there, and basically the only thing you need to do is this is nice and flat, so just basically hold it flush and hot glue it and hold it in place, and that's it. And it's held nice, and it's centered right into the window, perfect the way it is. Alright, notice the progression. Nice hot glue here, bend, hot glue this section of the wiring, same thing here, hot glue, run it through, hot glue, and then connect the grays to the grays. By the way, the gray is ground. Okay, so there they are right here, and then there's one right here, and here's the brown for the, call it the left side. Here's the brown right here for the right side. So they just twisted together and soldered, and then I'm going to show you how we just lay it down and hot glue it in place. Okay, there she is, the finished product basically. And we just get a little pointer. Okay, so you can see that here's the ground wire and here's the brown wire for one of the impulse LEDs, this one here, and the other one is over here. You can see them. That's all I have to do is hot glue them in place, keep them away from each other. Don't need to insulate them or anything. It's plastic, it's non-conductive. And you see how I routed it so the portholes are free and clear for light to illuminate through it. Same thing here. Okay, that way they're down out of the way, won't cast a shadow. And my friend, that's it. Alright, well, she's coming together. We got the saucer into the neck and down to the secondary hull. I just want to show you guys, you can do all the wiring in here, very easy. Blue to blue, red to red, black to black, gray to gray, green to green. Now I'm going to show my age. That's all I have to do is do what we used to call back in the day a Westinghouse splice. Basically you make a W, you folks these days, and wrap it together, and then I soldered it, and you can use tape to make sure it doesn't short out to anything else. I'm going to be using some string tubing to achieve that. Okay, that's pretty much it for now. Okay, what we have here is we actually have the two blue wires that come from the back. Those are the wires that are connected to the LEDs that illuminate the landing bay, and they'll be connected to a resistor. Okay, and then the only thing you need to do is connect the opposite end of the resistor here to this red wire and heat shrink it, and that's pretty much it for that, and everything will work. Okay, just to show you the finished product, we have the two blue wires coming out with the resistor on one end of it already connected and heat shrunk, and then we connect the opposite side of the resistor to the red wire, which is goes through, and it's the plus. Goes all the way down here. That's your plus power. So anyway, that's it. We'll supply the heat shrink tubing here, and we've covered up the resistor as well. As you can see, you don't see the resistor, so there's no chance of touching something else and causing some minor short or what have you. So everything will be safe and sound. Okay, here's the TOS 1350 with our rotating nacelles in there. I'm shooting it at low ambient just so you can see the full effect of it. This model is not built up with the Aztecing and labels and everything. It's just made to show off the electronics because it'll be being taken apart later. So we have the white nabs underneath, and on top you have the red and the green, and it starts off in fast mode, the spinning nacelles, and then we can slow it down. Okay, and then we can slow it down again, and one more. Okay, and you can choose whichever speed you like to work it at. And we have some lights inside for the to light up the landing bay. Okay, no shuttle in there. But that's pretty much it. It's very easy to wire up. There's only 3 wires coming out from underneath, and it's nice that it can go right through that little shaft that round 2 provides, and that's pretty much it. Away you go. It's very simple to put together, very easy. I am very proud of round 2. They did an excellent job with making this model. For you guys that are actually going to put it together, it's snapped together very nicely. I mean, I've got it taped together, but I can see that the fit is much better than the some of the other ships that we've had to deal with in the past. But anyway, there they are. You have the clockwise and counterclockwise, and that's this mode. We have an additional mode that we built into these rotating nacelles, and I'll show that later on. We call this the positive spin. I'm going to show you the negative spin. Okay, I just want to show you this video in in a bright lit room without the plastic housing of the nacelles. You don't get the real nice effect of all the different color schemes in there with the lights. You can see the flashing of the green and blue, and you can slow it down. There you go, that's the slowest it'll go. But anyway, just another visual view before we change modes of spin. Okay, what you guys are looking at now is what we call our negative spin mode. And you'll start to, if you look at it, you'll notice a slight difference. See it? And then we'll take a look at it in the low. Now, in low ambient lighting, because what we're doing is we're keeping the lights on, and by achieving that negative spin is actually basically we're shutting off the fan blades as it goes around instead of turning them on. And you can see how bright it is in low ambient lighting. That's its fast mode. We'll slow it down. And this is very easy to do. We have a little jumper inside that we set it, basically short it out. Probably the easiest thing is to send it from the factory here in its negative spin mode, and you guys can cut the jumper if you will, if you want the positive spin mode like in previously shown. There we go, just slowed it down a little bit more. You can see the flashing, different time, twinkling of the blue and green, and there's a red LED that's on all the time to give it some additional character. Now, what we'll do is we'll probably make a video with the plastic domes here, frosted, and it may give you another effect that some folks try to get. Alright, this is the view of the spinning nacelles or buzzards, whichever way you want to terminology it. This is with the domes frosted. That's at fast speed, okay? And we can slow it down. And this is what we call the negative view of the LEDs. You can actually see the firings of the green and the blue now. Slow it down some more. And back to fast. Okay, then we're going to take a shot with low ambient lighting. Okay, this is a low ambient lighting effect with what we call the negative spin action, where we have the LEDs on and we shut them off as they rotate, and slow them down again. There we go. And the next view will be with positive spin, where we keep the LEDs off and then turn them on as they rotate. Okay, here's a look with the domes frosted, and this is at fast speed. A little bit slower again, and the slowest. You can actually see the firings of the different colors. It really looks like a fan blade with the domes frosted. Let's take a look at it in low ambient light. Okay, here's the rear view of the impulse engine. As you can see it glowing.